There's a blueprint running in your mind right now. It's been there since childhood, installed by your parents, your teachers, your culture, your experiences. This blueprint determines what you think is possible, what you believe you deserve, what you expect from life. It operates below conscious awareness, silently shaping every decision you make, every action you take, every result you create. Most people live their entire lives unaware that this blueprint exists. They accept its programming as reality, its limitations as truth, its restrictions as natural law. They never realize that the blueprint controlling their life was designed by someone else for someone else's purposes based on someone else's beliefs about what's possible. But winners understand something that losers never discover: your success blueprint is not permanent. It's not fixed. It's not destiny. Your success blueprint is programmable software that can be rewritten, upgraded, transformed to create any reality you choose to design. The difference between winners and losers isn't talent, luck, or circumstances. The difference is that winners have learned to think differently. They've rewired their success blueprint to operate on principles of possibility instead of limitation, abundance instead of scarcity, growth instead of stagnation. Andrew Carnegie understood this when he arrived in America as a poor Scottish immigrant with nothing but the ability to think like a winner. Carnegie could have accepted the blueprint of poverty, limitation, and struggle that his circumstances suggested. Instead, Carnegie chose to install a success blueprint based on vision, opportunity, and systematic wealth creation. Carnegie didn't just change his thinking, Carnegie changed his blueprint. He rewired his mental programming from the inside out, replacing victim consciousness with victor consciousness, scarcity programming with abundance programming, limitation beliefs with possibility beliefs. The result: Carnegie became the richest man in America and left a legacy that still impacts the world today. But rewiring your success blueprint requires understanding how mental programming actually works. Your brain is not a computer, it's a construction site. Every thought you think is laying a brick in the blueprint of your future. Every belief you hold is creating the architecture of your possibilities. Every mental pattern you repeat is building the structure of your reality. Most people are unconscious architects. They're building blueprints without realizing it, installing programming without choosing it, creating limitations without intending it. They let random thoughts become recurring patterns, accidental beliefs become automatic behaviors, inherited programming become inevitable outcomes. Winners become conscious architects. They deliberately choose their thoughts, intentionally design their beliefs, systematically install programming that serves their success rather than sabotages it. Thomas Edison exemplified this conscious architecture when he rewired his success blueprint to see failure as feedback rather than defeat. Edison's original blueprint, like everyone's, was programmed to avoid failure, fear, rejection, interpret setbacks as evidence of inadequacy. Edison consciously rewired this programming. He installed new software that interpreted every failure as valuable information, every setback as stepping stone, every obstacle as opportunity. This rewired blueprint allowed Edison to persist through 10,000 failures while others quit after 10 attempts. The blueprint that most people inherit treats failure as evidence they should stop. The blueprint that winners install treats failure as evidence they're learning. This is the first principle of blueprint rewiring winners. Think about failure differently. They don't avoid failure, they reframe failure. They don't fear setbacks, they use setbacks. They don't see obstacles as problems, they see obstacles as puzzles to solve. But changing how you think about failure is just the beginning. Winners also rewire their blueprint around the concept of possibility. Most people's blueprints are programmed with limitations. That's impossible. People like me don't do that. It's never been done before. The odds are against me. Winners install possibility programming. If it's been done once, it can be done again. If it's never been done, I could be the first. Impossible is just untested. The odds don't determine the outcome, my actions do. Walt Disney rewired his success blueprint to operate on possibility rather than probability. Disney's original programming, like everyone's calculated odds, assessed risks, evaluated realistic expectations. This programming suggested that his dreams of animated entertainment theme parks and magical experiences were impractical fantasies. Disney consciously rewired his blueprint to ignore probability and focus on possibility. He installed programming that asked not, "What are the odds?" but "What are the options?" Not "Can this be done?" but "How can this be done?" Not "Is this realistic?" but "Is this worth doing?" This rewired blueprint allowed Disney to create an entertainment empire that seemed impossible to everyone else but inevitable to him. The second principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners focus on possibility while losers focus on probability. Probability is based on past performance. Possibility is based on future potential. Probability limits you to what has been. Possibility opens you to what could be. But possibility thinking must be supported by what Napoleon Hill called definite purpose. Most people's blueprints operate without clear direction. They have vague wishes, general desires, undefined goals. This unclear programming creates unclear results. Winners rewire their blueprints with laser-sharp clarity about what they want to achieve. They install definite purpose programming that focuses all mental energy, all creative power, all problem-solving capability on specific, measurable, time-bound objectives. Henry Ford rewired his success blueprint around the definite purpose of putting America on wheels. This definite purpose programming filtered every decision Ford made, every opportunity he evaluated, every innovation he pursued. Ford's rewired blueprint automatically rejected anything that didn't serve his definite purpose and automatically attracted everything that did. The third principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners think with definite purpose while losers think with scattered attention. Scattered attention creates scattered results. Definite purpose creates definite achievement. But definite purpose requires more than just goal setting. It requires what Hill called burning desire, emotional intensity so powerful that achieving your purpose becomes more important than maintaining your comfort, more compelling than avoiding risk, more necessary than breathing. Most people's blueprints are programmed for comfort maintenance rather than goal achievement. They seek ease over excellence, safety over success, security over significance. This comfort-focused programming creates lives of quiet mediocrity. Winners rewire their blueprints to prioritize purpose over comfort. They install burning desire programming that makes their definite purpose so emotionally compelling that obstacles become irrelevant, setbacks become temporary, criticism becomes meaningless. John D. Rockefeller rewired his success blueprint with burning desire to organize and systematize the chaotic oil industry. This burning desire programming made Rockefeller willing to work longer hours, take bigger risks, persist through more obstacles than his comfort-focused competitors. Rockefeller's rewired blueprint automatically chose growth over comfort opportunity, over security achievement, over ease. This programming created the largest business fortune in American history. The fourth principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners are driven by burning desire while losers are driven by comfortable routine. Comfortable routine maintains your current life. Burning desire creates your extraordinary life. But burning desire without strategic thinking is just passionate chaos. Winners also rewire their blueprints to think systematically rather than randomly. They install strategic programming that sees patterns others miss, connections others ignore, opportunities others overlook. Most people's blueprints operate reactively. They respond to events, react to circumstances, adapt to conditions. This reactive programming makes them victims of their environment rather than creators of their reality. Winners install proactive programming. They create events, control circumstances, design conditions. They think several moves ahead, anticipate consequences, prepare for multiple scenarios. Steve Jobs rewired his success blueprint to think systematically about the intersection of technology and liberal arts. Jobs' strategic programming allowed him to see connections between seemingly unrelated fields, calligraphy and computer fonts, Eastern philosophy and product design, user experience and emotional connection. This systematic thinking blueprint enabled Jobs to create revolutionary products that others couldn't conceive because they weren't thinking systematically about multiple variables simultaneously. The fifth principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners think systematically while losers think sporadically. Sporadic thinking creates random results. Systematic thinking creates predictable success. But systematic thinking must be combined with what Hill called auto-suggestion, the ability to program your subconscious mind with success-oriented thoughts, beliefs, and expectations. Most people's blueprints are programmed by accident, by inheritance, by environment. They never consciously choose their mental programming. Winners consciously program their subconscious minds through deliberate auto-suggestion. They repeatedly affirm their definite purpose, visualize their desired outcomes, emotionalize their goals until their subconscious mind accepts these programs as reality and begins working to make them physically manifest. Oprah Winfrey rewired her success blueprint through conscious auto-suggestion, programming her subconscious mind with visions of inspiring and educating millions of people through media. Winfrey repeatedly visualized herself as a successful communicator, affirmed her ability to connect with audiences, emotionalized her purpose of serving others through authentic sharing. This auto-suggestion programming rewired Winfrey's blueprint at the deepest level, causing her subconscious mind to automatically notice opportunities, generate ideas, and create behaviors that aligned with her program vision. The sixth principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners consciously program their subconscious while losers unconsciously accept inherited programming. Inherited programming creates inherited results. Conscious programming creates chosen results. But subconscious programming must be reinforced through consistent action. Most people's blueprints create internal conflict between their conscious goals and their unconscious behaviors. They want success, but act unsuccessfully. They desire wealth, but behave poorly. They dream big, but act small. Winners align their actions with their aspirations. They rewire their blueprints so that their behaviors automatically support their objectives, their habits automatically advance their goals, their daily choices automatically compound toward their desired outcomes. Colonel Sanders rewired his success blueprint to take persistent action despite repeated rejection. At age 62, Sanders could have accepted the blueprint of retirement, resignation, reduced expectations. Instead, Sanders rewired his programming to persist through 109 rejections until someone said yes to his chicken recipe. Sanders' rewired blueprint made persistent action automatic rather than optional, inevitable rather than conditional, natural rather than forced. The seventh principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners align their actions with their aspirations, while losers allow their actions to contradict their ambitions. Contradictory actions create contradictory results. Aligned actions create aligned achievement. But aligned action requires continuous learning and adaptation. Most people's blueprints become fixed early in life and remain unchanged despite changing circumstances, evolving opportunities, expanding possibilities. They operate with outdated programming in a rapidly changing world. Winners continuously upgrade their blueprints. They install learning programming that seeks new information, embraces new perspectives, adapts to new realities. They treat their success blueprint as living software that must be constantly updated rather than fixed hardware that never changes. Warren Buffett rewired his success blueprint to prioritize continuous learning over temporary comfort. Buffett reads 500 pages every day, not because he has to, but because his rewired blueprint makes learning automatic, enjoyable, essential. This continuous learning programming keeps Buffett's success blueprint current, relevant, powerful in changing market conditions that make other investors' outdated programming obsolete. The eighth principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners continuously upgrade their programming while losers operate with obsolete software. Obsolete software creates obsolete results. Upgraded programming creates upgraded outcomes. But learning without application is just intellectual entertainment. Winners also rewire their blueprints to implement knowledge rather than just accumulate information. They install action-oriented programming that converts learning into earning knowledge, into results, information, into implementation. Most people's blueprints create a gap between knowing and doing. They know what they should do, but don't do what they know. They understand success principles but don't apply success practices. They accumulate wisdom but don't implement systems. Winners close this gap by rewiring their blueprints to make implementation automatic. They install programming that immediately applies new knowledge, instantly implements useful information, automatically converts learning into action. Sarah Blakely rewired her success blueprint to implement ideas immediately rather than analyze them endlessly. When Blakely conceived the idea for Spanx, her rewired blueprint bypassed analysis paralysis and moved directly to action, researching patents, contacting manufacturers, pitching retailers. This implementation programming transformed Blakely's simple idea into a billion-dollar business, while others with similar ideas remained stuck in analysis mode. The ninth principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners implement while losers analyze. Analysis without implementation creates knowledge without results. Implementation without excessive analysis creates results without delay. But implementation must be guided by clear values and ethical principles. Winners don't just rewire their blueprints for effectiveness, they rewire them for integrity. They install programming that makes ethical behavior automatic, honest communication, natural, fair dealing inevitable. Most people's blueprints contain compromises, rationalizations, situational ethics. They operate with programming that adjusts moral standards based on circumstances, convenience, or competitive pressure. Winners install unwavering integrity programming. They rewire their blueprints to choose character over convenience, honesty over advantage, principle over profit when these values conflict. Warren Buffett's success blueprint operates on absolute integrity. Buffett's programming makes dishonest behavior literally unthinkable. Unethical shortcuts automatically rejected, character compromise impossible regardless of potential gain. This integrity programming has created trust, which has created access to opportunities, which has created unprecedented success. The 10th principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners program integrity while losers program convenience. Convenience-based programming creates short-term advantage but long-term disadvantage. Integrity-based programming creates sustainable success. But integrity must be combined with courage, the willingness to act on your convictions despite opposition, criticism, or temporary consequences. Most people's blueprints are programmed for approval seeking rather than conviction following. They adjust their behavior to gain acceptance rather than maintain authenticity. Winners rewire their blueprints to prioritize conviction over approval. They install courage programming that makes authentic action automatic, regardless of others' opinions, criticism, or disapproval. Abraham Lincoln rewired his success blueprint to operate on conviction rather than popularity. Lincoln's programming made him willing to take unpopular positions, make difficult decisions, persist through fierce opposition when he believed his actions served the greater good. This courage programming enabled Lincoln to preserve the Union and free the slaves despite massive opposition from people whose approval he might have preferred to maintain. The 11th principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners follow conviction while losers seek approval. Approval-seeking programming creates other-directed behavior. Conviction-following programming creates self-directed achievement. But courage without wisdom becomes recklessness. Winners also rewire their blueprints to seek wise counsel while maintaining independent judgment. They install programming that values input from trusted advisors while reserving final decision-making authority for themselves. Most people either make decisions in isolation or surrender decision-making to others. They either ignore valuable counsel or abdicate personal responsibility. Winners seek wisdom but maintain autonomy. They rewire their blueprints to actively solicit diverse perspectives while ultimately trusting their own judgment about what serves their definite purpose. Andrew Carnegie rewired his success blueprint to leverage the mastermind principle, surrounding himself with brilliant advisors whose combined intelligence exceeded his individual capabilities while maintaining his role as ultimate decision-maker. This wise counsel programming multiplied Carnegie's effectiveness while preserving his leadership authority. The 12th principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners seek wise counsel while maintaining independent judgment. Dependent decision-making creates dependent results. Independent judgment with wise input creates independent success. But independent judgment must be balanced with collaborative capability. Winners rewire their blueprints to work effectively with others while maintaining their individual identity and objectives. They install teamwork programming that creates synergy without surrender, cooperation without compromise, collaboration without competition. Most people's blueprints create either excessive dependence on others or excessive independence from others. They either lose themselves in group dynamics or isolate themselves from group benefits. Winners find the optimal balance. They rewire their programming to contribute to collective success while achieving individual objectives to support others' goals while pursuing their own vision to create mutual benefit while maintaining personal standards. Elon Musk rewired his success blueprint to build exceptional teams around his visionary objectives. Musk's programming attracts brilliant collaborators who share his long-term vision while bringing complementary capabilities that multiply his individual effectiveness. This collaborative programming has enabled Musk to build multiple billion-dollar companies simultaneously, something no individual could accomplish alone. The 13th principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners collaborate while maintaining identity. Identity-sacrificing collaboration creates mediocre consensus. Identity-maintaining collaboration creates extraordinary synergy. But collaboration requires communication skills that most people's blueprints don't include. Winners rewire their programming to communicate their vision compellingly, their needs clearly, their expectations specifically. Most people's blueprints assume that others understand their thoughts, share their priorities, interpret their communication accurately. This assumption creates miscommunication, misunderstanding, misalignment. Winners install precise communication programming. They rewire their blueprints to over-communicate rather than under-communicate, to clarify rather than assume, to confirm understanding rather than hope for comprehension. Steve Jobs rewired his success blueprint to communicate his vision so clearly, so compellingly, so specifically that others could see exactly what he saw, feel exactly what he felt, understand exactly what he wanted. This communication programming enabled Jobs to inspire thousands of employees, partners, and customers to contribute to his vision of technological revolution. The 14th principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners communicate clearly while losers communicate carelessly. Careless communication creates confused results. Clear communication creates coordinated achievement. But clear communication must serve a larger purpose. Winners rewire their blueprints to focus on contribution rather than just accumulation, on service rather than just success, on impact rather than just income. Most people's blueprints are programmed for personal gain without considering broader contribution. They seek to extract value rather than create value, to benefit themselves rather than serve others. Winners install contribution programming. They rewire their blueprints to find fulfillment through service, satisfaction through contribution, meaning through making a difference in others' lives. Bill Gates rewired his success blueprint from wealth accumulation to global contribution. Gates' programming shifted from maximizing Microsoft's profits to maximizing global health improvements, education access, and poverty reduction. This contribution programming has created more satisfaction, more meaning, more legacy than pure wealth accumulation ever could. The 15th principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners focus on contribution while losers focus on accumulation. Accumulation-focused programming creates temporary satisfaction. Contribution-focused programming creates lasting fulfillment. But contribution without competence is just good intentions. Winners also rewire their blueprints to pursue excellence rather than settle for adequacy. They install mastery programming that makes continuous improvement automatic, skill development inevitable, excellence pursuit natural. Most people's blueprints are satisfied with good enough. They reach minimum acceptable standards and stop growing, stop learning, stop improving. Winners never stop improving. They rewire their programming to see excellence as a moving target, mastery as an ongoing journey, improvement as a lifelong commitment. Michael Jordan rewired his success blueprint to pursue basketball excellence with obsessive intensity. Jordan's programming made him unsatisfied with being good, uncomfortable with being very good, driven to be the greatest basketball player who ever lived. This excellence programming created not just individual achievement, but inspiration for millions of people who witnessed what human potential looks like when fully unleashed. The 16th principle of blueprint rewiring is that winners pursue excellence while losers accept adequacy. Adequacy programming creates adequate results. Excellence programming creates extraordinary achievement. And when you truly rewire your success blueprint, when you install winner programming that operates automatically, unconsciously, inevitably something extraordinary happens. You stop trying to succeed and start expecting to succeed. You stop hoping for opportunities and start creating opportunities. You stop being surprised by your achievements and start being surprised by your previous limitations. You realize that your old blueprint wasn't protecting you, it was imprisoning you. Your inherited programming wasn't keeping you safe, it was keeping you small. Your original software wasn't serving you, it was sabotaging you. The winners you admired weren't lucky, they were programmed differently. The achievers you envied weren't gifted, they were rewired differently. The successful people you studied weren't special, they were thinking differently. And now you understand that you can think differently too. You can rewire your success blueprint. You can install winner programming. You can upgrade your mental software from limitation to possibility, from scarcity to abundance, from victim to victor. Your current blueprint is not your destiny. Your inherited programming is not your permanent reality. Your past thinking patterns are not your future possibilities. You have the power to rewire your success blueprint starting right now with your very next thought, your next decision, your next action. The question is not whether you can change your programming. The question is whether you will change your programming. Winners have already decided. They've rewired their blueprints to create the lives they want rather than accept the lives they inherited. What about you? If this message awakened your understanding of the programmable nature of success, if you felt that surge of possibility as you realized you can rewire your mental blueprint, then you're ready to join the winners who think differently. Subscribe to this channel if you're committed to rewiring your success blueprint and installing winner programming. Share this message with someone who needs to understand they can change their mental software. And comment below, what limiting program will you delete from your success blueprint today? Remember, your blueprint determines your reality. Your programming creates your results. Your mental software shapes your physical outcomes. Winners don't think better thoughts. Occasionally, winners have rewired their blueprints to think winning thoughts automatically. The rewiring process begins with your decision to become conscious of your current programming and deliberate about your future programming. Your success blueprint is waiting to be upgraded. Your winner programming is waiting to be installed. Your transformed life is waiting to be created. Think different. Think like a winner. Rewire your success blueprint starting now.